Colin was right.
I said last week with Baltimore, I don't want to hear its injuries. I'm not sure what they do well defensively. They weren't good on Monday night, and they're not good now. That's the best game Patrick Mahomes has played in a long time. Look at what Kansas City did. 7 yards of play. Kansas City's rebuilding their O-line, has no run game. Travis Kelce, you get about one big play a game, and they don't have a number one receiver. I mean, Mahomes hasn't played that well in so long. So it's not like Kansas City doesn't have injuries. Rashee Rice isn't playing. This is Worthy's first game back. They lost their best offensive lineman. They have no real consistent run game. Baltimore, I said it last week, I think it's time to panic. You may need more than just getting guys healthy on the defensive side.
Listen, there is no doubt about it, concerns with the Baltimore Ravens. My fear was that as soon as the injuries started piling up, and then Lamar Jackson's hamstring and all that, that we were going to use the injuries to not really have the honest conversation about what's going wrong with the Baltimore Ravens. But before I start, please do consider subscribing. When you guys subscribe, when you watch the entire length of this video, this is what happens. We start a genuine avalanche of performance, and I am trying so hard to truly build something that is special, something that we are truly all connected to, and I'm going all in right now. I am absolutely positively going all in on it, and this is the power. This is what you guys, the control, the impact that you can have on this. I truly see it as we, not me, so please do subscribe. Please do actually watch the full length of the video. It is without a doubt the best way to support the growth of this channel so I can continue to make awesome, honest, the best version of content that I can possibly do so we can have real conversations and really root ourselves in the sports talk community. But now the hard thing. The Ravens have just not been playing well. No question about it. Lamar Jackson has not been playing well. Now listen, there are two different conversations to be had here. The defense and injuries, a mess. And so we can defend that. We can say, hey, that's okay. Because the Kansas City Chiefs had their injuries and they were losing their games. They were losing their games. And everybody was like, yeah, they're losing. And I was like, well, you know, they're missing their wide receiver 1 and their wide receiver 2. And their number 1 tight end is a shell of himself. It's going to be hard to win games that way. But they were still in those games. They were still in those games. A game like this, I never felt the Baltimore Ravens were in this game. After that first scripted drive, which I took the notes and I was like, that is perfect. That is textbook. Then they start getting penalties. And I was like, well, that's also textbook for the Baltimore Ravens. Then the penalties started piling up. And then you're throwing interceptions. And then you're turning the ball over and fumbling. Lamar Jackson, for whatever reason, he's not himself this year. And it's not a hamstring issue. He's just so unsure of himself. He can't decide whether he wants to run or not. And it's going to drive me crazy because Colin made a whole video. You know, his whole take about the Kansas City Chiefs was all about like, oh, the Chiefs are in Lamar's head and, you know, they got him figured out. That's not the case. That's not the reality. I mean, like, I'm cringing at like Nick Wright's going to try to paint the whole picture. Oh, Lamar just can't handle the moment. He's James Harden and all of this nonsense. Like, that's not what it is. It's not. Because he struggled. He had very similar issues against the Detroit Lions where it was just this kind of like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And it is. It's like a controller that's just running out of battery right now. It's not the Lamar Jackson that I know. And then even just the way how the Baltimore Ravens offense is run. Romo's out there being like, he's able to predict every single thing that the Baltimore Ravens are going to do. He just knows everything they're going to do. If Tony Romo's out there to predict it, do you not think that Spags can predict it? I mean, like, it's just become predictable. And then the fact that they just keep going away from the run. Like, again, even Rome in that broadcast is kind of like, dude, why are you not giving the ball to your monster of a running back? Like, what are you doing right now? And it's just a problem. And here's the thing. Lamar Jackson is one of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever seen in my entire life. No question about it. He is a monster. He is a beast. And I'm so happy that I am of the age to actually know what I'm watching, to be able to watch him. I'm not like too young. I'm not too old. He is a monster. But this offense has never continued to evolve in a way that has allowed Lamar Jackson to evolve, to see him grow. He's gotten better over the years in terms of being a better passer, in terms of throwing a better ball and with more anticipation, etc., etc. That all stuff is true, right? He's turned himself into an awesome and a great passer, a top passer in the NFL. But in terms of the structure of the offense, I don't know if people really realize this, but the vast majority of their plays are just always beyond the route. When the routes have already been fully run, like everything is always off time. Like I don't want to say off script, but it's always beyond what the designed play is supposed to run, how it's supposed to operate. And it's always just a hike and let's just kind of see what happens, rather than this is the defined route. This is the defined route. This is where I'm expecting this wide receiver to be. And I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it rip. And it works throughout the season. It works to the lesser teams. But when you're going up against a great defense, a well-coached defense, it's not going to work. And then you're relying on Lamar Jackson in those moments to either just buy time in the pocket, to either do a big scramble run. And when those aren't there, they're not there. There's no way to solve it. There's no answer. There's no adjustments to make in the second half. There's no magic to be found. That's the problem. And so we've seen this now with the Ravens. We've seen it. We saw it against the Philadelphia Eagles last year. We see it against the Chiefs. We see it against the Bills. And sometimes when they're able to really pile on points early on, and then their defense is able to get out after them, they're able to really pile on points, and they're able to really win big. And it's like, see, this is how great they are. But then the moment a game gets a little ugly, the moment a game gets a little muddled up, like we often see in the playoffs, the Ravens are just like, we don't know how to play football. Offensively, specifically, we don't know what to do. We're just going to have Lamar Jackson sit back there and just hope that he can just pull it off. And every time you're watching the Baltimore Ravens, think about this. You're not like, oh, what great play are they going to have dialed up right now in this moment? You're just thinking, oh man, they called hike. Hopefully Lamar Jackson can rip off a 25-yard devastating run. And when that doesn't happen, like we saw in this game, you're just like, oh, nothing happens. And then, of course, if now you fumble the ball or you throw an interception, you're just like, all right, how is this going to magically get better? How is this magically going to get better? So after all these years, you still see the same fundamental problems. And did anyone think that this Baltimore Ravens team felt ready to play in Kansas City? Did they come out with just an absolute, just monster mentality of like, we are going into Arrowhead. Yeah, we're banged up. They're banged up too. We don't care. We're getting after it. No, not at all. Lamar Jackson's mad the whole time. I mean, the defense is in shambles. No aggression, no attitude. Dumb penalties. The Ravens have a culture problem. The Ravens absolutely have a culture problem. And if you didn't have such an extended history with Harbaugh, Harbaugh would have been fired a long time ago. Not a doubt in my mind. Because this has continued to be a Harbaugh problem. And ever since your big defensive coordinator left and went to Seattle, your defense has not been the same. Defense has not been the same. So maybe Harbaugh's been getting too much credit. But I don't see enough evolution out of this offense and out of Lamar Jackson individually. Because let's face it, Lamar Jackson should be even better than he is right now. And he's special. He's special. But I do not see enough moments throughout a game where I'm saying they're making things easy for Lamar. Everything is just off script, off script, off script. And maybe that's just who Lamar is. And I understand that. But then your offense needs to evolve in a way to be more resilient to these moments. And they haven't found a way through it. And my conclusion isn't, well, that's just Lamar. That's not my conclusion. Run the ball more then. I mean, like, I just go all in on the run game then. Go all in on just forging an absolute monster dominant O-line and an absolute monster run game where you got Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, where you just like go absolutely all in and you're like, we are just going to be absolute bullies right now. And we are just going to have a violent pass rush. And we are just going to dominate the line of scrimmage on. But like, there's just, what's the identity here? The identity is, I just hope Lamar can just do some cool Lamar stuff. So the Ravens are just I watched that game and I'm like, this team is a mess. And again, throughout the whole year so far, we're having insane, crazy comebacks. The Ravens, unfortunately, were part of it. We see the Eagles, we see the Bucks, the Bears, the Packers, Cowboys. I mean, we're seeing all of these insane games unfold. And this was one of the least competitive games I've seen all year. And I had no sense, no feeling, hey, the Ravens can make this a game. Hey, I've been watching all crazy games over these last few weeks. The Ravens can make this a game. The Ravens can come back here. They can pull off some magic. It was just like, no one on this team feels like they can win. Nobody has any belief right now. That's a culture problem. That's a coaching problem. When the Kansas City Chiefs were getting dominated by the Philadelphia Eagles, I always make fun of that line because they were like, Tom Brady came back, we can too. And Spags is like, yeah, sure, of course we can. They showed more heart. And when they were down, what was it? I don't even remember the score at that point. They were down. I think they had 6 points. I think what was the score? 34-6 or whatever the heck it was. And they were still like, we can do it. And the Ravens are still in the game, relatively speaking, but the score may as well have been a college football game, 60-0. That's a problem. In a year that we are seeing some of the most insane comebacks, blocked punts, blocked field goals, blocked extra points, 21 unanswered points. I mean, we're seeing such insane swings of football games. And yet I'm watching this game with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, a team that has been ferocious essentially my entire life. My entire football life against the Kansas City Chiefs, a massive rival, where it should be the definition of it ain't over till it's over. You're like, oh, this game's over. The game felt over by the first quarter. That is a problem, and that is not an injury problem. That is not an injury problem. Yes, they will be better if they were healthier, no doubt about it. The Detroit Lions were decimated with injuries last season, and yet we saw them fight and fight and fight. We saw their offense do everything they could to be better. But even the decision-making, going for it on 4th and 1, and again, it was just like, hope Lamar can pull something off here. It's just bad football. So do not let injuries be the excuse. It's part of the problem for the team as a whole. It is not the problem. It is not the problem. Especially when you have an offensive-led team with Lamar Jackson. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Baltimore Ravens? How do you feel about what's going wrong with them? Can they turn this around? Where do you think the problem lies? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.